Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam review class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नित्यनामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone. We are discussing from the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and in last few classes we discussed the story of Indra disrespecting his spiritual master Brihaspati, and how because of that he lost all the kingdom. And then Indra was instructed by Brahmaji to go to Vishwarupa and accept him as spiritual master. Indra he did that, and Vishwarup he gave Narayan Kavacha. Because of that Narayan Kavacha, Indra became so very powerful. He defeated all the demons and became the ruler of heavens again. But one day, because of when Vishwarup he was doing some sacrifice, because Vishwarup was related to demons from the side of his mother, he was offering some oblations for the demons also. Indra became very, very angry when he heard these mantras being chanted. He cut off the 3 heads of Vishwarupa. And as a result, he had to suffer a lot, and somehow he atoned for the sinful activity. And then, because of this, the father of Vishwarupa Twashta, he created a very fierce demon called Vritrasur. Vritrasur, he started destroying all the devatas, and then helplessly all the devatas, they approached Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu told them, you go to the Dhichi and you ask for the bones of the Dhichi. So all the devatas, they went to the Dhichi Muni, and the Dhichi Muni, out of his kindness, he agreed to give his bones to the devatas, so that the devatas, they made a thunderbolt out of it. And then there was a huge, very fierce fight which happened between Vritrasura and all the devatas and all the demons. And ultimately we saw that in Vritrasura, he displayed a very wonderful devotional disposition during the fight with Indra. And ultimately, when Indra he was successful in killing Vritrasur, Indra was not so happy, because he had killed a devotee and a Brahmana. And to atone for that sin, he lived in Mansarovar lake in subtle fibers of the lotus there. And because of the influence of the Rudra, influence of Lakshmi Devi, who was residing in the lotus in the Mansarovar lake, and because of remembering the Supreme Lord continuously, he became free from all the sinful activities, sinful reactions, and again became situated on the throne of heavens. So that was what we discussed yesterday. So today we'll be starting the 14th chapter. In this 14th chapter, Parikshit Maharaj, when he heard this whole story of how Vritrasura was such a fierce demon, he developed it out. He asked Shukdev Goswami, "O learned Brahmana, generally demons are very sinful. They are in the mode of ignorance and passion. How is it that Vritrasura was such a very fierce demon? He attained such exalted devotional disposition. He attained love of God even in the battlefield. He displayed a devotional disposition. How is it possible? So therefore, in this world, when everyone is obsessed with the modes of passion and ignorance, it's so very difficult to remember Krishna. Unless one transcends these modes of material nature, it is not so easy to remember Krishna in difficult times. We can see our personal lives. When the problem comes, most of the times we try to remember Krishna, we try to remember the instructions which we have heard, but it is so very difficult. So Prabhupada writes there, what is the key to such uninterrupted remembrance of Krishna? Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva mohanirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrataha. If we want to practice bhakti with determination, with faith, and with steadiness, then what we have to do? We have to become pure. Antagatam papam. We have to become free from all the sinful activities. And this is the process. How to become pure? By reading Bhagavatam, by hearing and chanting the names of Lord. So Prabhupada in first canto, third chapter, in 44th verse purport, he writes a very beautiful statement. There Prabhupada writes, one should hear with rapt attention from the real person. That means a bona fide devotee. And because of that, one can realize the Supreme Lord. And Prabhupada writes there, the secret of knowing Bhagavatam is mentioned in this verse. What is that? Prabhupada writes, no one can give rapt attention who is not pure in the mind. No one can be pure in the mind, one who is not pure in the action. No one can be pure in the action, one who is not pure in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So Prabhupada boils down to such a lofty concept of pleasing Krishna, being very, very focused on the holy names, on the Supreme Lord, to eating, sleeping, and mating habits. What we are eating, how we are sleeping and defending ourselves, that decides. So we should try to become pure in these four things. That is a basic level of Krishna consciousness. That's where spirituality begins. And then after that, Parikshit Maharaj asks that, pure devotional service at the lotus feet of Mukunda is so very rare. Even devatas who are in the mode of goodness, even saints who are very pure, they also could not get bhakti. So how is it possible that this Vritrasur, who was a demon in the mode of ignorance and passion, he showed such wonderful qualities of devotion? Devanam Suddha Sattvanam Rishinam Chamalatmanam Bhaktir Mukunda Charane na prayena upajayate. So it is said, Parikshit Maharaj is saying, it is not so easy to develop devotional sentiments unto the Supreme Lord. Na prayena upajayate. It is very, very difficult, even for the devatas who are completely pure in their habits. Rishina, for the sages also, who are very pure in their thought process also. Bhaktir Mukunda Charane. So to develop loving devotional sentiments unto Lord Mukunda is not so easy. So how is it that this demon, he developed such loving devotional sentiments, that he offered such beautiful prayers? He was instructing me. So Parikshit Maharaj, so he was instructing Indra. Parikshit Maharaj is asking, how is this possible? So therefore we have to understand, this process of devotional service is a very, very rare commodity that we have achieved even without our endeavor. We did not plan that I will join Krishna consciousness movement. Somehow some devotees came, or we got some book, somebody was distributing some Bhagavad Gita, or some devotees invited for some program, and we got connected. We did not plan for it. There are very few who plan. And then Parikshit Maharaj describes the hierarchy, how a rare devotee is. So from 3rd to 5th verses, Parikshit Maharaj describes how the devotee is so very rare. He says, in this material world, there are unlimited living entities, just like atoms, there are unlimited atoms. There are unlimited living entities. Among those living entities, very few are humans. Amongst those who are humans, very few are interested in following the dharmic principles. Most are interested in enjoying their lives by hook or crook. Eat, drink, and be merry, as they say. Beg, borrow, or steal, but enjoy life. Even a Charvak Muni, he said, Yavat jivet sukham jivet rinam kritva ghritam pipet bhasmi bhutasya dehasya kutah punaragaman bhavet. So he's saying that, if you want to enjoy in life, if you want to live in this world, live happily and with all the opulence. Eat food which is cooked in ghee. That was the level of enjoyment. Because bhasmi bhutasya dehasya, this body is going to die. It will be burned to ashes. Who has seen the next life? Kutah punaragaman bhavet, who has seen anybody coming back? So therefore, very few are interested in dharmic life. Out of many who follow dharma, only a few desire liberation. Most of the people who follow dharmic principles, they do it for artha and kam. But Bhagavatam, in the beginning verses of Bhagavatam, describes dharmasya hi apavargasya nartho arthayopakalpate narthasya dharmaikantasya kamo labhaya hi smritah. So dharma should be performed for apavarga, for liberation. Na arthayopakalpate, it should not be performed for artha. It should never be performed for gaining material profit, material adoration, distinction. That should not be the goal of following dharmic principles. So therefore, most of the people, they are following these dharmic principles for sense gratification. And that's why Narad Muni, he chastised Vyasadeva. Jugupsitam dharma kritenushashata swabhava raktasya mahan vyatikrama. So Narad Muni told Vyasadeva, people are naturally inclined towards sense gratification, and you have given them a bona fide way to enjoy their lives. That is not the actual purpose of the scriptures. Very few people, they follow dharma for liberation. That is the actual purpose of following dharma. But then Parikshit Maharaj says, even among those who desire liberation, one out of thousands, one may achieve liberation. Many may start the process. Many may perform the sadhana for liberation. But out of thousands, only one attains liberation. And even amongst those who attain liberation, they do not become perfect completely. Many men, Chakravarti Thakur writes that many people, they take sannyas and they want to become liberated. But because of their conditionings, their unarthas, their impurities, they again become attached to women, material activities, sense gratification, social welfare, etc. So therefore, amongst those who desire liberation, one attains liberation. And even amongst thousands of those who attain liberation, one can actually understand the meaning, what actually is liberation. So what is the actual meaning of liberation? What is the actual purpose of liberation? That is understood by very few. Muktanam api siddhanam narayana parayana sudurlabha prashantatma koteshwapi mahamune. So it is described, Parikshit Maharaj is saying, Muktanam api siddhanam, amongst kotishwapi, amongst many millions of liberated souls who are perfect in knowledge, Muktanam and Siddhanam, they are liberated and they are perfect in knowledge. But one may be devotee of Lord Narayan. So it is a very, very rare commodity. Devotees of the Lord are there, they are very, very rare. So Prabhupada writes, that he gives a whole hierarchy of the rarity of devotees, how devotees are so very rare. And Chakravarti Thakur, he describes that, even amongst the liberated souls, they are called jnanis. So he describes jnana, there are two types of jnana. One is pure jnana And second is Gyan, which is mixed with Bhakti. So then he says that actually pure Gyan, if somebody is developing this dry speculative knowledge, dry knowledge of impersonal Brahman, they do not get any result. We have discussed earlier also many times, all the path of karma, jnana, yoga, they have to be mixed with devotion. Otherwise, these processes will not give the desired result. If somebody is practicing jnana but not performing bhakti, he will not attain the result. So Chakravarti Thakur writes here, by pure jnana, those who desire liberation, they cannot achieve. And he gives one, he quotes one shloka from 10th canto where Brahmaji is saying, Shreya sritim bhaktimudasya te vibho klishyanti ye kevala bodha labdhaye tesham saukle shala eva shishyate nanyad yatha sthula tushava ghatinam. So there Brahmaji is saying, if jnanis, they are not taking shelter of you, O my Lord, they do not get liberation. They do not even get they do not get a chance to merge in Brahman. And all their endeavors, they are futile. It is as if somebody is beating the empty husks of grain. Sthula tushava ghatinam. Any process, karma, jnana, yoga, it has to be mixed with bhakti to get some result. Otherwise, it will be a useless endeavor. And then Chakravarti Thakur writes that, the Gyan which is mixed with Bhakti, that is again of two types. In the Gyan which is mixed with Bhakti, if somebody does not respect the form of the Lord, that means they are Mayavadis. Those who are taking shelter of the limbs of Bhakti, so we see in the world, Mayavadis, they will also hear Bhagavatam, they will also speak Bhagavatam, they may also chant the names of the Lord, they may do deity worship, but they do not respect the form of the Lord. So what is the result of that? Chakravarti Thakur writes that by this one will not attain liberation. But he will think that he is getting liberated, but actually he is not getting liberated. He is just thinking. And by such bhakti which is not mixed with which is not having the understanding that Lord has a form, Gyan mixed with bhakti, but he rejects the form of the Lord. Chakravarti Thakur writes that such bhakti destroys ignorance, but only partly produces knowledge. So ignorance is destroyed, that ignorance of enjoyment in this world is destroyed. He knows that Mayavadis, they know that this world is a place of misery. The ignorance is destroyed, but the knowledge does not come. Very little knowledge comes, and that also disappears after some time. And then he writes that without bhakti, a person cannot attain complete knowledge of Brahman. Therefore, he cannot merge in Brahman. So if somebody is a Mayavadi, he is not going to get his destination as Brahman. He is going to very, very lower destinations. Yanyar vindaksha vimuktamanina tvayasta bhava avishuddha buddhayah aruhya krichrena param padam tata patanti adha anadit yushmadanghrayah. So Bhagavatam describes those who reject the lotus feet of the Lord, those who reject the form of the Lord, they fall down to the lower destinations. They do not get Brahman. And then Jnani, who is performing devotional service mixed with bhakti, and he respects the form of the Lord, then he will get his destination as Brahman. So then after that, Parikshit Maharaj is saying that, okay, this devotee is so very rare, and out of thousands of living entities, one may few get human body. In humans, very few come to dharma. Even in those who come to dharma, very few start the process of liberation. Even very few who get liberated, very few know actually who is the Supreme Lord. And these are the devotees of the Lord. They are very, very rare. So therefore he is asking, my doubt is, how could an infamous, sinful demon who is always troubling others, how could he become greatly Krishna conscious even in the battlefield? Vritrastu sa katham papa sarvalokoptatmanah Itham dridhamati Krishna asit sangram ulbani. Itham dridhamati Krishna, he was troubling all the people. How could he get a firm determination to serve Krishna, even in the sangram, even in the middle of the battlefield? So therefore, I am curious to hear about Vritrasur. This Vritrasur, he showed the prowess in the battlefield. He satisfied Indra. So that was the doubt Parikshit Maharaj raised. So after hearing this doubt from Parikshit Maharaj, Shukdev Goswami, he very affectionately started answering the question of Parikshit Maharaj. So now Shukdev Goswami says that, O Parikshit Maharaj, O great Parikshit, O king, I will describe you the story which I have heard from the mouths of Narada, Devala and Vyasa. So now Shukdev Goswami starts a narration of history. So he said, one time there was a king, Chitraketu. He was the king of the province of Shurasena and he ruled the entire earth. He was so very powerful. He was so very pious, devoted king that during his reign, earth produced all the necessities of life. Kamam varsha parjanya sarvakama dukhamahi shishichusma prajan gavon payaso dhaswati muda. The same thing is described about Yudhishthir Maharaj also. When Yudhishthir, he was ruling the kingdom, kamam varsha parjanya, all the rains would come automatically. Everybody was completely satisfied. Sarva kama dughamahi, earth would give all the grains and whatever was required. Shishichusma rajan gavaha, the cows were so happy that they would automatically give milk and the milk would muddy the ground. So therefore the same thing is described about Chitraketu Maharaj also. That is the glory of a devoted king. When a king is a devotee, naturally earth is happy because Supreme Lord is happy. The purpose of the Lord for creation of this material world is to make us realize that we have to serve the Supreme Lord. When devotee is the king, then it is very, very easy for everybody to start practicing devotional service. So therefore, this King Chitraketu, he was a very, very devoted king. But there was one problem in his life. He had 10 million wives. He was original Karorpati, But unfortunately, although he had 10 million wives, he had no children. He could not produce a child. So he married one wife and he could not get a son from her, married another, then fourth one. In this way, he married 10 million. But he could not get son from any of the wives. So therefore, although this Chitraketu Maharaj, he was endowed with beauty and he was a magnanimous king, youthful, very powerful, famous. He had all the wealth and opulence, but he was always full of anxiety because he did not have son. Prabhupada writes, in a family life, if the family does not have a child, that is as good as void. Putrahinam griham shunyam. If there is no child in the family life is a void. So therefore, Chitraketu, he was in so much anxiety. With all his wealth, with all his beautiful queens, with all the kingdom, and he had complete control over all the lands. They could not satisfy Chitraketu. One day, the powerful sage Angira, he arrived, traveling all over the universe. He arrived by his own sweet will, Yadrichaya. He came to Chitraketu Maharaja's kingdom. As soon as Chitraketu, he saw Angira Muni coming, he immediately stood up. He offered respects and he gave him a nice place to sit and gave all the welcome and he made him sit down comfortably. And then when Angira Rishi, he was sitting, he congratulated Chitraketu. He said, you are so very humble. You have so very nicely welcomed me. You are so very gentle, humble. And therefore he started speaking to King Chitraketu. He said, "O king, is everything all right? Is everything well? Is your body, mind, associates, and paraphernalia, are they in proper condition?" He says, when the seven properties of material nature, that is Mahattattva, Ahankar, and five Tanmatra, sense objects, they are in proper order, the living entities within the material world is happy. Similarly, when the king is protected by the seven elements, who are the seven elements? His guru, his ministers, kingdom, fort, treasury, friends, and system of law and order. So the king is also protected by all these seven elements. So he's asking, are you happy? Then he says, Angira Muni says that, when a king depends on the associates and follow the instructions of the associates, he is very happy. Similarly, when the associates offer their gifts and all their activities to the king and follow the orders of the king, the associates are happy. So therefore, Prabhupada writes, there is a mutual interdependence between the king and the citizens. King cannot be independent. He should be always in control of the kingdom, citizens. So therefore, Angira Muni is asking, are you in control of your wives, citizens, secretaries, servants, merchants, ministers, governors, landholders, sons, and other dependents? Are you in control of all of them? So therefore, a king should be ideally taking guidance from all these people, and then only he should execute his kingly duties. Otherwise, he will not be able to satisfy everyone. So Angira Muni says that if the mind is not fully controlled, if the mind is fully controlled, then everything is under control. So therefore, are you happy? But then Angira Muni says, but your face is pale and it shows that you are in complete anxiety. I can see that your mind is not pleased. And it seems that you have not achieved your desired goal. Although this great sage Angira, he knew everything. He knew everything why this Chitraketu was in anxiety. He was a Sarvagya, he knew everything. But still he asked this question. So Chitraketu, when he heard this, he bowed down and he with great humility started speaking. He says, "O great sage Angira, what is unknown to you? What is unknown to great sages like you? You know everything of the past, present, and future. You have destroyed all your sins by your austerity, knowledge, and samadhi. You can understand the minds of all the conditioned souls. But still, because you have asked me, I'll disclose you my anxiety." He says, I have all the wealth, all the opulence, I have so many wives, all the kingdom, all the citizens, they are completely, following my orders. Everything is all right, but all this opulence is not pleasing me. I am not happy with all these opulences because although they are desirable even for the devatas, whatever I have, even devatas are desiring, but still I am not happy because I do not have a son. My position, he says, very interesting example he says that my position is like a hungry and thirsty man who is given garland and sandalwood paste. Just imagine next day of Nirjala Ekadashi, and everybody is waiting for fast breaking time, and after Mangal Aarti and then Tulsi Aarti, Yani Kani, Chapa Pani only, everybody is remembering Pani only, and then everybody comes down to kitchen and is ready for drinking Nimbu Pani, lemon juice, and then one devotee comes and offers garland to you, and then another devotee comes to offer some chandan on, put some chandan paste on the head, and then after that nothing happens. Then somebody comes and starts glorifying you. Oh, such a great austere person you are. You have done a Nirjala Ekadashi. You will think, Arey Baba, all that is okay, but where is Nimbu Pani? Where is lemon juice? I am hungry, I am thirsty. So that's what, Chitraketu Maharaj is saying. All these opulences, they do not satisfy me. Just like a person who is hungry and thirsty is given garland and sandalwood paste. So he says, "Oh great sage, please help me get a son." I am really in anxiety. Because if I don't get son, how will I save my fathers, my grandfathers, my ancestors? And I will have to go to hell because nobody will be there to save me and offer Shraddha to me. So Angira Muni, when he heard this plea from Chitraketu Maharaj, although he knew the future, but still he performed a sacrifice and he gave a pot of sweet rice to Chitraketu Maharaj. And Chitraketu, he gave the sweet rice to the best of the queens, the foremost of the queens, Kritadviti. She was Jeshta and Shreshta. Jeshta means she was the eldest of all the queens, and Shreshta means she was having all the beautiful, wonderful qualities. And then Kritadviti. So after that, Angira, he told Chitraketu that, O Chitraketu, O king, you will have a son that will be the cause of your happiness and distress both. He will give you Harsha also, he will give you Shoka also. Therefore, his name will be Harsha Shoka. So, although Chitraketu, he heard this, but he thought, okay, he did not mind the words of Angira. He did not ponder on them so much. Because he was thinking anyways, yes, my son will naturally bring jubilation for me because he's my only son. After so many years, I am getting my son. So definitely I'll be happy. But because, he'll be my only son, so he'll be the heir to entire property of mine. He'll be the king of entire earth. So therefore, maybe he'll become impudent. Maybe he'll not follow my orders because of the pride. No problem, I'll tolerate all that. I think that is what Angira Muni is telling, that he will be the cause of Shoka. Angira Muni, and Chakravarti Thakur writes that Angira Muni, he did not want to actually, tell everything to king, but also he did not want to keep him completely in ignorance. So, he gave just half truth. He did not tell completely what is going to happen, because he thought, if I don't tell him anything in future, he'll come and he'll start chastising me. You didn't tell me, you knew everything. So therefore, thinking this, he told that he'll be the cause of happiness and distress. In due course of time, Kritadviti became pregnant and the son was born in due course of time. And when the son was born, everybody in the city of Shurasena, they were happy and jubilant. They were glorifying the king and the queen Kritadviti. And Chitraketu, he engaged all the Brahmanas in doing all the sacrifices. He started giving charity to everybody. He gave charity of gold, silver, ornaments, and villages, horses, elephants to all the Brahmanas who were doing the yajna. And he was really happy. He was completely, immersed in jubilation. And then, Chitraketu, because he got his son after a long, long time, he was so very affectionate to his son. He was always thinking of the son, always doing everything with his son. Just like a poor man, he develops the attachment for the money which he gets after hard work. A person who gets money after hard work, he really, yearns to keep that money safe. Similarly, Chitraketu Maharaj, because he got his son after so many years, he was completely affectionate and absorbed in taking care of the child. But the problem started there. All the other queens, they were agitated because they were getting neglected. Everybody, all the queens, they had the desire to get a son, but they could not get a son. Therefore, they were getting agitated. And Chitraketu, because Kritadviti was the wife who begot a child, he started giving all attention to Kritadviti and started neglecting all the other wives. Therefore, all the unhappy queens, they started condemning themselves. And they started saying, they said, a sonless wife is neglected by her husband and treated like a servant by co-wives. And therefore, such a woman is certainly condemned as sinful. But our position is even worse. Even maid servant of husbands is honored by honored by him. Even maid servants are honored by husband. But the wife who is not bearing any son, he is not even respected by the husband. Her position is even more unfortunate than the maid servants. So we are more unfortunate than even the maid servants of the maid servants. And as they started talking like this, their envy became very, very strong. They could not handle. We have to understand that all the queens who were married to Chitraketu, they were coming from a very good pious background. Just the fact that they were getting married to whom? They got married to whom? They got married to Chitraketu. Who was Chitraketu? Chitraketu was the king of entire earth. That means he would not marry any women. He would marry the best of the ladies. So therefore, all these ladies, they had all the good qualities. They were very, very gentle, affectionate. But this pastime shows the power of, being neglected. If somebody is neglected and if somebody is not given the proper respect, even the most, gentle people, they can become most envious and most, heinous. So that's why we hear in the 10th canto pastime when Sudama, he went to Krishna. And as he was going back, although Krishna did not give him anything substantially, but Sudama was completely satisfied. Sudama was thinking how affectionately, gently, respectfully, so much respect he treated me. So that's what Sudama was remembering. He was not thinking, oh, he did not give me anything. Kuchailam malinam shyamam dhujam damni santatam devi paryacharam sakshat chamar vyajanen vai. Although Sudama, he was having all the dirt on his body, was wearing very dirty clothes, and he was so very thin. But Lakshmi Devi was personally fanning him. Rukmini Devi was there. Devi paryacharam sakshat chamar vyajanen vai. With all these words, with all these affectionate dealings, Sudama was completely, overwhelmed. So that's how, when we are dealing with people generally, they don't think what you are giving them substantially. People, they consider how much they are respected, how much they are cared for. So therefore, the queens, when they were not cared for, they were not given attention, they started developing all the feelings of enviousness. And out of envy, what they did, they came together and they planned that this son is the cause of our distress. So they planned, and their intelligence was completely destroyed. Nashtamatayaha. They administered poison to the son because of the hard-hearted nature. And because of this, when this happened, nobody was aware of this. So next day, when the maid servant, she came, and Krita Dyuti, she thought that maybe my son is sleeping for a long time. After some time, she told her maid servant, now please you go and you get my son, you wake him up. So the maid servant, she went and she realized that the child was dead. She started crying and she started beating her chest, and she became unconscious. When Krita Dyuti, she came to know, she came running to this place, and when she saw her child dead, she became unconscious. Her hair and her dress was in array. She fell at the ground. And as the news spread, everybody in the palace and all the citizens, they were lamenting. Everybody was lamenting. Even the queens, even the queens who administered the poison, they were also crying pretentiously because they did not want to get noticed. So therefore, they are also crying. Chitraketu, when he came to know this, he became unconscious the moment he heard this news. He started lamenting and wailing and crying, and his lamentation, it is described, it grew like a blazing fire. More and more lamentation was going on. With every step he was falling unconscious. He would come to consciousness, he would again get up, walk few steps, again he would slip and fall. He was not able to even walk also. And somehow he approached the dead child and he fell unconscious at the feet of the dead child. And then he was crying tears. He was not able to see also because his eyes was full of tears. Kritadyuti, when she saw her husband lamenting, she also cried a lot. Now it is described that her loud crying resembled the wailing of a kurari bird who had lost her child. So she was crying so much that all her clothes were becoming wet because of the crying. And in this way, Kritadyuti started condemning the providence. She says, Aho Vidhata Tomativa Balisho. She says, Oh Vidhata, oh Creator, I think, oh Providence, I think you are a child. You are childish. You don't know that a child should not die in front of his father. But I think you have forgotten this. This contradicts your creative laws. In front of his eyes, the father is seeing his son dead. So I think you are like a child. So that's how many people, they react when the problem comes in their life. They react in different ways. People who do not have faith in God, they do not know the purpose of this world, they do not know the laws of nature. That's what happens. When they are completely overwhelmed by emotions, they start blaming the creator. Aho vidhata tomativa balisho, you are like a child. After some time, when one starts developing knowledge, he comes to the understanding that, okay, I am supposed to tolerate the problems which are coming in my lives. Because I am suffering my own karma. And then that is the first instruction which Krishna is giving to Arjuna. He says, Matra sparshastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkadaha agamapaino nitya tamsitikshasva bharata. So Krishna is telling to Arjuna, oh Arjuna, just tolerate the dualities of the world because they are temporary. They will come and go. So that is the second level of understanding people get after practicing devotional service and understanding the philosophy. The devotee comes to the understanding whatever is happening is because of my karma, but actually I should be grateful for it. Whatever I am going through, I should be grateful for it because I deserve much more. Out of mercy, Krishna is giving me very less. Tatte nukampam shusamikshamano bhunjanu evatma kritam vipakam ridvagvapurбhir vidadhan namaste jivete yo mukti sate pate sadaya bhak. So Brahmaji is saying that this is extreme mercy of the Lord. Anukampa, just like seeds, when they are roasted and sown in the ground, they do not sprout. Similarly, when somebody comes to the process of devotional service, all the seeds of sinful reactions, they get roasted and they do not sprout. So therefore, that is the consciousness of a devotee. So Kritadyuti here, she is lamenting, and now she starts condemning and giving all the arguments to the Lord. She says, she is thinking, if the Lord says that there is no such law, who said there is a law that son should die in front of his father? There is no such law. Everyone lives according to the laws of their karma. Kritadyuti would say, then there is no need of a controller. What is the need of a controller? If everything is happening according to the laws of karma, what is the need of a controller or God? Lord may say, the controller is needed because the material energy cannot act independently. Kritadyuti would say that, but you have created the bonds of affection, and if they are disturbed by karma, then nobody will beget. Nobody will raise children out of affection. They will neglect them. So therefore, Kritadyuti's conclusion is, since you have cut off the bonds of affection, You are inexperienced and you are unintelligent. And that's what Kritadyuti is saying. And then after speaking all this, she's saying, she thinks, why am I gossiping with this foolish lord? You know, why don't I think of the benefit of my son? So then she starts speaking to the dead son. She says, "Oh, my dear son, you should not give up company of your father and the mother. We are helpless and miserable in separation from you. Please come back. Please get up. Just see your lamenting father. Uh, he is not even able to stand. We are helpless because a kingdom, because a family without a son will have to go to hell. Therefore, she says, you have slept for a long time. Please get up. Please get up. Your father is calling. Your mother is calling. Your playmates are calling. Your friends are calling. Please get up. You go and play with them. You must be hungry. Please get up. Suck my breast." Then after speaking all this, she realizes that now her son is dead. Then she says, "I am certainly unfortunate. I can no longer see your charming smile, beautiful eyes, loving glances, your sweet, pleasing voice. I'll not be able to hear now. You have closed your eyes forever. You have gone to the next destination. You know, have you been taken away by cruel Yamraj?" She's lamenting. Everybody is lamenting. So King Chitraketu and Kritadyuti, everybody is lamenting and crying very, very loudly. As they are doing so, as they are lamenting, you know, Narad Muni and Angira arrives again. And that's the end of the 14th chapter. So in the 15th chapter, now as Narad Muni and Angira, they arrive, they see that Chitraketu, he was laying there like a dead body. Now, his son was dead and he was laying besides the dead son as like a dead body. So Narad Muni and Angira, they approached him and they instructed, Shukdev Goswami is saying, they instructed Chitraketu about spiritual consciousness. They say, "Oh Chitraketu, what relationship does this body have with you? What is the relationship? This body, this relationship did not exist. Did this relationship exist before? It was not existing before. And it is not existing now also. It will not exist in the future also. So therefore, all these relationships of the world, they are temporary. No relationship of the world is permanent." So Prabhupada writes that instructions given by Narada Muni and Angira, they are true spiritual instructions for the illusioned conditioned soul. Everybody is thinking, he's my father, he's my son, he's my brother, sister, wife. But they don't understand that all the relationships which they have is because of the past life's karma. Naikatra priya samvasa suridam chitrakarmanam oghena vyuhamananam plavanam srutasoyatha. So 10th canto describes, just like in a river, sometimes by the will of the providence, two straws, they come together and then they again get separated. Similarly, people, according to their karma, they come together and they get separated. So therefore, they say, Angira Muni and Narad Muni, they are saying that the union and separation of the jivas, they happen by the force of time. Yatha prayanti sanyanti shroto vegena balukah samyujjante vyujjante tatha kalena dehinah. So they give two examples. As the small particles of sand, sometimes they come together and sometimes they are separated by the force of the waves of the ocean. Similarly, Dehinaha, the living entities, Samyujyante, Vyujyante. Sometimes they come together and sometimes they get separated by the force of time. So therefore, Prabhupada writes that this is the misunderstanding about the body. Because people, they are in bodily concept of life, they are thinking the things which are related to this body, they are mine. This is me, and the things which are related to this body are mine. Our real interest lies in understanding this simple fact that we are not this body, we are soul. We have We have fallen in this material world since eternity. Anadi karma phale odi bhavarnava jale. Anadi karma phale. Because of so many of the karmic activities, we have fallen in this material world. And we don't know since when we are there. Nitya baddha Krishna haite nitya bahiramukh nitya samsara bhunje nara kade dukh nitya baddha. That's why we are called eternally conditioned, because we don't know when we came in this world. And the reason is we wanted to enjoy separately, and because of that we were given a body. Enjoy with this body. So therefore, Narad Muni says, and Angira Muni says, all this relationship which you see in this world, they are artificial. The relationship of parenthood, it is also artificial. Yatha dhana suvaidhana bhavanti na bhavanti cha evam bhutani bhuteshu choditani shmaya. He says when the seeds are grown, when the seeds are sown in the ground, sometimes they grow into plants, sometimes they do not grow. Sometimes the ground is not fertile, so the seeds do not grow. Similarly, sometimes a father can beget a child, sometimes he cannot. Therefore, one should not lament for the circumstances. One should not lament for the artificial relationship which one has in this world. So Prabhupada writes that this King Chitraketu, he was actually not destined to get a child. But by the mercy of Angira Muni, he got a child. Just as a sterile grain cannot produce grains, similarly, the person who is not destined to get a child, he cannot get a child. And then Prabhupada writes, sometimes a child is born to even impotent father and a sterile mother. Sometimes even a potent father and a fertile mother are childless. Indeed, sometimes a child is born despite all the contraceptive methods, and therefore the parents, they kill the child in the womb. So Prabhupada is writing why all these things happening, why contraceptives were not able to help and protect the conception, avoid the conception. Prabhupada writes, we must conclude that all scientific arrangements, they are just superficial. Unless it is sanctioned by the Supreme Lord, nothing happens in this world. As it is said, not even a blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord. So therefore, sages, they say all the relationships in this world, they are temporary. Both you and me and everything of the world, they were not existing. We were not existing in the past. And now somehow we have come here. And we are not together even in this life always. After this life again, we will be separated. So therefore, all the relationships in this world, they are always temporary. Prabhupada writes, then Mayavadis, they say that this world is mithya. Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya. This world is not actually mithya. This is temporary. That is the Vaishnava understanding about this world. This world is temporary. This world is not mithya. It is like a dream. Chakravarti Thakur gives the example. It is like a dream. If we are not asleep, the dream does not exist. When we are sleeping, we are dreaming. After the sleep, after we get up from the sleep, the dream is gone. So therefore, dream was not an illusion. Dream was a reality, but it was permanent. It was temporary. It was not always present. So therefore, that which does not exist in the three phases of time, in the past, in the present, and in the future, it cannot be called as a substantial thing. Everything in this world is happening just by the will of the Lord. Just like a small child, sometimes he makes all the arrangement to play, and he creates so many things, and then when he likes, he destroys everything. Similarly, this world is Lord's play. He creates by his own will, he maintains, and he destroys by his own will. People in this world, they think, I am the doer, I am the controller. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashah Ahankara vimodhatma karta aham iti manyate. And therefore, Prabhupada writes, this present chaotic situation in this world is only due to the ignorance of the leaders. The leaders, the kings, they are themselves ignorant and they are leading the ignorant people to hell. Yandha yathandhir upaniyamana tepi shatantraya murudam nibaddhaha. As Prahlad Maharaj is telling, in this world, blind are following the blind. So therefore, Prabhupada writes, because people, the leaders of the world, they do not follow the scriptures. They do not consult the Lord. Their duty is to consult the Lord. How to consult the Lord? By reading Bhagavad Gita. So that's what Prabhupada writes here. Chitraketu, hearing this, he may say, but I am a father. You are saying why I am lamenting? I am father, and as father I have produced a son. And now because he is dead, I am lamenting. So Narad Muni and Angira Rishi, they say, parents, they just produce the body. They do not produce the soul. Just like a seed generates another seed. Body, a father generates another son through mother. But the living entity is not generated. The body is generated in the womb of a mother. Soul is not generated. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that the sages may say that since the body of your son, which you are lamenting for, is dead and is there in front of you, the body is there in front of you, why are you lamenting? You have produced this body. This body is in front of you. Why are you lamenting? Chitraketu may say, but I am lamenting because the jiva is not there. The soul is not there. The sages say, but jiva is eternal. It was not produced by you. Then why are you lamenting? So therefore, the sages, they say all the designations one have in this world, they are all imaginary. Therefore, O Chitraketu, please do not lament. This is all due to ignorance. When Chitraketu, he heard all this, he became enlightened by those instructions of Angira and Narad Muni. And, he was incessantly crying tears. He started, becoming composed and calm. He wiped off his tears from his shriveled up face, and then he began to speak. He asked them, who are you? Who are you? You are full in knowledge. You are Jnana Sampannaha. You are greatest of all the great. And you are disguised as liberated wandering mendicants. Who are you actually? So Chakravarti Thakur writes that actually, when the Narad Muni and this Angira Muni, they arrived at their place. Actually, they disguised themselves as mendicants. They did not come in their actual, form of Angira and Narada. So therefore, Chitraketu Maharaj, he was not able to understand who are these two people. So then, he says that actually, you are such a great personality. Great personalities like you travel just for the benefit of people in general. Charanti hi avanau kamam brahmana bhagavata priyah madrisham gramya buddhinam bodhayonmatta linginai. He says, oh great sages, Brahmanas who are the Vaishnavas, they are Bhagavat Priyah. They are very, very dear to the Lord. And they charanti, they are traveling on the surface of the earth for only one reason. Bodhayante linginaha, just to enlighten the people in general. In the 10th canto also, Nanda Maharaj is telling to Gargacharya, Mad vichalanam nrinam grihinam dina chetasam nishreyasaya bhagavan kalpate nanyatha kvachit. O great sage Gargamuni, the sages like you, they travel just for the welfare of people in general. Bhad vichalanam nrinam grihinam dina chetasam. Those who are absorbed in their family life. To enlighten them, the sages like you travel. Nishreyasaya bhagavan kalpate na anyatha kvachit. They do not have any other reason to travel. Even when first canto we heard that when Vidura he comes back from the pilgrimage, Yudhishthir Maharaj is saying Bhavad Vida Bhagavataha Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Swantasthena Gadabhrita. O Vidurji, because you have caught hold of lotus feet of the Lord in your heart, you are place of pilgrimage personified. So therefore, you are traveling only for the welfare of people in general. That's why Vidura came back to Hastinapur. He was not interested in enjoying the kingdom. He was interested in delivering his brother Dhritarashtra. So therefore, after saying this, Chitraketu Maharaj says, "O great sages, I have heard that there are that among the great persons and perfected beings, there are many people who are wandering in the earth." And he gives a list of the names who are wandering. He says, Sanat Kumara, Narada, Ribhu, Angira, Devala, Asita, Vyasdev, Markandeya, Gautama, Vashishta, Bhagavan Parshuram, Kapiladev, Shukdev, Jaimini, and Asuri, Dattatreya, Patanjali, Durvasa, Yajnavalkya, and all these rishis, they are traveling. I think you are certainly one amongst them. Prabhupada writes that here Chitraketu Maharaj is using the word Jnana Hetavaha. You are traveling just to give knowledge to all the people in general. Therefore, I think you are also one of them. He says, O great sages, please enlighten me. Please ignite the torch of knowledge in me. Tasmad yuvam gramya pashor mama bodha dhiya prabhu andhe tamasi magnasya jnana deepa udiryatam. He's saying that jnana deepa udiryatam. Please light the torch of knowledge in me. I am like a gramya pashu. I am like a village animal, ignorant. Mama moodha dhiya. I am foolish. I have no intelligence. Andhe tamasi magnasya. I am fallen in the darkness of ignorance. Please show mercy. So Prabhupada writes that this is the way to receive knowledge. First of all, one must have to submit himself unto the lotus feet of the spiritual master. Tadviddi pranipatena. And Prabhupada quotes this verse, Om Jnana Timrandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya. When we surrender to the lotus feet of the Lord, we are praying, please remove the darkness of ignorance which is there in my heart. Every day we sing Chakshudan Dilojai Janme Janme Prabhu say. So that is our Prabhu. Spiritual master is our master life after life. It is not like Mayavadis. Mayavadis, they reject their spiritual teachers after a certain stage. They think now I don't need him. That is not a devotional perspective. Vaishnavas, the devotees, they think Janme Janme Prabhu say, because Divya Jnana Hriday Prakashita. He has given me the torch of knowledge. He has enlightened me. So after Chitraketu says all this, Narad and Angira Muni says, so now Angira Muni starts speaking. He says, I am Angira and he is Narada. I am the same Angira who gave you the benediction to have a son, and he is Narada. He is the son, direct son of Brahma. We have come to relieve you of your lamentation. You are so much immersed. You are so much immersed in the lamentation, ocean of lamentation, because of the darkness of ignorance which is there in your heart. Advanced devotees, who serve the Brahmanas, they are never bewildered. They do not lament for the material loss and gains. You are such a great devotee of the Lord. Why are you lamenting? Angira Muni says, when I came earlier, I did not give you transcendental knowledge. I just gave you the benediction of sun, because that time you are not ready to hear. Therefore, even when we are preaching, we should preach according to the time, place, and circumstance. How people will take this message of Krishna consciousness properly, that requires intelligence, and that requires a realization. In fact, that is the definition of realization. What is realization? Prabhupada writes in the first canto, 4th chapter, 1st verse purport. Realization means one should be able to present the philosophical topics according to the time, place, and circumstance without manipulating the meaning of the this instructions. So that is called realization. So therefore, Angira Muni, when he came first, he realized that this person is not ready to take Krishna consciousness now. So therefore, he just gave him whatever he desired. And then he said, now actually you are suffering because you have lost your son. So Angira Muni says, one's wife, house, kingdom, opulences, and everything, they are all temporary. Actually, all these things, they are like Gandharva Nagar. Gandharva Nagar means the phantasmagoria. They are no better than dreams. People think that these things will give me shelter. My family will give me shelter. My wife will give me shelter, or my husband will give me shelter. My sons, my wealth, my property, my relatives, they'll give me shelter. But all these are infallible. All these are fallible shelters. They are not going to save us. Deha patya kalatradishu atma sainyashu asatswapi tesham pramatto nidhanam pashyannapi na pashyati. So Sudha Goswami is saying, Shukadeva Goswami is saying that people in this world, they think these are my soldiers. They will protect me, but they do not realize they are fallible soldiers. They cannot protect anyone. So Prabhupada writes, in spite of all these positions, the spirit soul has to give up the material body and accept the another body, even if the next situation is favorable. But still, he will die after some time and accept another body. So why to take all the efforts of going into one body after another? So Angira Muni says, whatever you are seeing in this world, all the visible objects of sense gratification, they are like dreams. Just like we see a dream, and in that dream we become attached to that one particular object. Similarly, whatever we are seeing in this material world, they are arising because of our previous conceptions. Whatever actions we have done in our past lives, because of those actions, we have got these sense objects. And that's why we are impelled to do certain type of activity. So therefore, O Chitraketu, do not be disturbed by all this. This body is the source of miseries. Ayam hi dehino deho dravya jnana kriyatmakah dehino vividha klesha santapa krit udaritah. So this body, ayam hi dehino deha, this body which is made up of elements, senses, and all the 5 knowledge acquiring senses and 5 working senses, this is made in such a way that it will give trouble to the living entities. Even Brahmaji, the creator of the bodies, he's describing, he's expressing his sadness after creating this body. Shuttritridhat bhirimam hurardimana shitoshnavat varsha itarettarach kamagnina sakalayoni dahyamana sampashyato mana urukrama sidateme. He's saying, I am lamenting. Seeing the miserable condition of the living entities, I am lamenting. They are suffering in 3 ways. Internally, Shut Trit Tridhatuvir, hunger, thirst, Kaf Vat Pitta, always disturbed, troubling people from inside. Sheet Ushna Vata Varsha, from outside, sometimes heat, sometimes cold, sometimes rain, sometimes winds disturbing. That is not sufficient. Subtly they are also troubled. Kamagnina sakalayonishu dahyamanaha. They are always troubled by lust. Sampashyato mana urukrama sidateme. Seeing all this, I am lamenting. So therefore this body is designed to give us trouble. So therefore, O Chitraketu, please understand the truth. Please become detached from this material affairs. Then you will attain peace. And then Narad Muni speaks. Narad Muni says, now, O Chitraketu, please hear attentively. I'll give you a mantra. This mantra is most auspicious. After accepting this mantra from me, in 7 nights you will see Lord Sankarshan. You will see face to face Lord Sankarshan. And Narad Muni says, in earlier days and former days, even Lord Shiva and all the other devatas, they also took shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord by chanting this mantra. They also became freed from all the illusion. And very soon they attained unlimited glories. You will also attain that same exalted position. In this way, the chapter ends here. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. If anybody has any questions, you can ask. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.